that the black slaves that were brought over North, Central, South America, different parts of America on slave ships, right? In Brazil, the West Indies, Haiti. Suppose hypothetically that the blacks, Hispanics, and the natives and the indigenous people of Australia, the Fiji Islands, Hawaii, and different parts of Asia like the Philippines or the Cambodians or Vietnamese. Suppose these people are, in fact, from the lost tribes of Israel. Now, does identifying as Israelites, does that threaten the status quo? Right? Or are only one people able to stake claim to being Israelites? I'm going to ask a question again. Listen to what I'm asking you. If the Native American Indians and blacks, Hispanics, and others begin to identify with Israelites, does that threaten the status quo? And if so, why would it? What's the harm in identifying with God's people, following God's law, applying that law to our communities so that we could have a better quality of life, a moral society, right? So I'm going to put that on the table today, and we're going to talk about that. And for those who don't believe it's true, that's right. 515-605-9327. If you oppose the idea of black people being Israelites, I would like you to call in this evening and tell me why. And I also need you to tell me why it wasn't an issue when other people were determined as God's people. And does that make you racist? Okay, there's a lot to unpack there, right? But we're going to talk tonight. Now, going back to what is an Israelite? Is it an ideology? A religion? Is it an ideology or religion? Or is it a race of people? Okay. Now, when you come in and answer these questions, you can't be convoluted. You can't be in the gray area and say it could be a little bit of each of these. No. Stand on your view of an Israelite today. No gray area. Stand on your view. Okay? Let me put it out there again. Is it an ideology? Is it a religion? Okay. And what we're looking at is how you view Israelites. Is it more from the religious angle? Is it an ideology? More so a mindset that you see trending from your view? Or are Israelites an actual people according to the Bible? Which one of those you lean towards? Okay, and I want to hear about that tonight, because these discussions, brothers and sisters, these are healthy discussions. Why? Because if we don't start having these discussions, what will happen is we'll begin to allow mainstream media, okay, CNN, mainstream media, local media, New York Times, New York Times, Washington Post. We would begin to allow them to shape the narrative of what an Israelite is. So in good faith, outside of media, and I'm going to show you why I'm going here, folks. I'm going to show you why I'm going here. They would like us to believe that being an Israelite is actually a monolith. There's only one idea of Israelites, and that's the what? That's the media portrayal of them. Negative, unhinged, cultish, threatening. I mean, you would have thought that it was the Israelites that colonized the world and re-educated the people and killed off masses of people off of their own lands and re-educated them and enslaved them. You would think that the Israelites were the bad ones. the way it's being portrayed, right? Right? But I digress. A healthy discussion tonight, not pointing the blame, not looking at each another people. Let's just give your personal view of what an Israelite is. Okay? And if the Israelites were to come back to the knowledge of the truth, just say black slaves in America are the Israelites. Does that threaten the status quo? What's wrong with that? What's wrong with the black man identifying not religiously, but genetically as an Israelite? Well, I told you folks, we were going to unpack a lot this evening, and it is leading right into our lessons this coming Sunday. See, one thing about the knowledge of the Almighty and the Spirit of Christ, his word, this Bible is thought-provoking. Okay? It's thought-provoking. It's never dull. It's insightful. Right? So since we all understand there's a lot of things out there, I would like to take the conversation to the next level. Why? Why it's imperative that we take this conversation to the next level? There's wolves in the hen house. That's why. There's a certain prototype mainstream media has put out there as an image for what an Israelite of what Israelites are. And when you bring a what? A more prestigious, classy, respectful example, usually that's seldom spoke of. Usually that's deleted or taken off altogether. When people begin to have a positive view of an Israelite, that's pushed to the side by mainstream. But they will allow the most vulgar, threatening, evil representations on YouTube and social media to continue. As if it's intentional. As if they want that. With all the censorship we see out here today, you would think if someone was doing something wicked or evil and cursing people out, threatening people, have weapons or whatever the case is, hey, you would think that YouTube would have got in front of this, or mainstream would have got in front of this and made sure that there's no negative portrayal that could show people in such a threatening light. But I digress. We're going to talk about it today, brothers and sisters, and y'all doing a great job. We have 1,500 in so far, very early, so that's a great indication that, hey, people are going to pile in quickly. Do us a favor and hit the like button so that we can jump in. Now, before I go into a few things, because I have, real quick, Bishop Amath in the background as well as Elder Lawyer. Right? Now, there's a brother and sister. They don't even know that I'm using their video tonight. A brother by the name of Zakar and Kenya. Zakar and Kenya. Now, this brother and sister organically on their own volition filmed their experience at the Passover, brothers and sisters, our last Passover 2022, right? And what I'm going to do real quick, right? In your own time, I'm going to, of course, brothers and sisters, make sure you go to the link after the broadcast, okay? So I'm going to put it in here so you can see it. I'm going to try to put in the links as we go, right? And why am I going here, brothers and sisters? First and foremost, for those who don't know, I'm Elder Ricard of the Gathering of Christ Church, and I identify not according to my religion, but my bloodline as an Israelite. So does the majority of the members that are baptized within this church. Okay? The majority of the members identify as Israelites. And also, there's Gentiles, which are non-Israelites, amongst the body doing the work of Christ. Which means whether they be Arab, white people, whether they be Hamitic people, it doesn't matter. Whether they be from East India and have converted. We have people who are in the academy and have been baptized from Pakistan, whether they be Arabs, they've converted. Right? And why am I putting that out there? Because over 3,000 Israelites and Gentiles alike in Christ converged on Pittsburgh for the Passover.